right, what's going on, y'all? What's going on? On the go. On the go. Gotta get in a quick one here, man, because I woke up and it wasn't a dream, man. I woke up and it wasn't a dream. So give me a few minutes here. We're gonna jump into this thing. 1 second, y'all. It was real. It was reality. It was a reality. Hold on, y'all. Let me fix this thing up, and then we can get to going here. So while I do that, let me just give me about a minute. I'm gonna fix something here. All right. Yeah. Y'all here? All right, y'all here, man. On the move, but hey, I'm a little hungover and I ain't even drink, man. I'm a little hungover from last night. I got up this earlier, and after that, I'd take another nap before I had to go, get some work in. But I was like, wow, okay, yeah, that really happened. That really happened last night. It really did happen. I kind of did that even with the when was the last time I did that? The the Holly Holm and Ronda Rousey fight kind of had me like that too. Ronda Rousey and Holly Holm, it kind of had me like that, where I was like, oh snap, that did happen. It happened again. So yeah, I guess every time it's a dominant champion that does their thing, it's like, hey, you have to kind of be like, wow. You got to let the reality set in and be like, yeah, it's possible. It's possible. But yeah, got a few of y'all in here, so let's talk, man. I still do. I got people ask me how the fight went, and they still want to hear my post-fight analysis. I haven't even done that yet. I still got to go back and do that. But as far as like this topic, I just wanted to just discuss is, I've been hearing about the performance of Alexa Grasso, and I heard what some people said about it, and my thoughts on it. You see it in the title. Like, I know what people are going to say about the title. Well, what I mean is, all right, Alexa Grasso, she may not have been dominant in the whole fight. Like, she may not have been dominant over Valentina Shevchenko, but it's the right things that she done in this fight to really dismantle Valentina in the ways that I said she should have done it, right? And after watching somebody like Valentina for so long and Grasso, I had to say, okay, this is what Grasso needs to do. But I had a hard time seeing her do it because I haven't really seen her do certain things in the past. You know what I mean? Like the things that she needed to do, like really get in there and get dirty and get her opponent's respect, right? So that was the hard part of picking her. I can still come up with the keys to victory, because all I got to do is say, okay, if she comes with this type of energy, she can get that W, right? If she makes these certain changes with the particular strengths that she has, then boom, she can get a victory. But when it all came down to it, I said, okay, somebody like Valentina, who's been consistent, and dominant for so long in her, and she's always been in her place uh, for the rightful reasons, because of her discipline. You just got to go with that most dominant one, right? Um, but Alexa Grasso, she studied her, she studied her, and she studied her, and that's what I'm saying. Like, people always think that it's going to be it's going to be easy, and I'm speaking for like the Shevchenko fans. This game is changing, and the more and more you see a fighter out there, there's going to be a blueprint out there. That's why I say, like, these fighters on the come up, they have to study it. But people's answer is, oh, you can study Valentina all day, it ain't gonna do no good. Okay, that sounds like a beaten person. That just sounds like a beaten person to me. But me, as somebody who likes to figure fighters out and want to and train somebody, I'm like, okay, let me look at this person here. Okay, well, I'm gonna break somebody like Valentina down. I'm gonna break her down and look at her and see what she does right and what she does wrong. So I'm like, when you got all this footage out, that's exactly what these opponents need to do. They need to just stop saying, oh, my style is built for her already. I can do this, I can do that. Oh, she's human. Yeah, she's human, but take the time to look at her. Take the time to look at the tape, see where other people have failed and where other people have succeeded, right? And that's what Grasso did. Like, Grasso didn't just come out there and say, I'm going to come up with, one specific game plan. Like, Grasso may not have went in there and just dominated Valentina, but she had her in every dimension of the fight. She was prepared for every dimension. And that's what you have to do to crack somebody like Valentina. Valentina is a disciplined fighter, but there's times you can bring her out of her element mentally. All right. Might not break her physically, because she is a strong fighter. She is very strong. But the thing that you have to really capitalize on is getting under Valentina's skin. And I know y'all heard that so many times from me. Like, you got to get under Valentina's skin. The thing is, not many people have done it. Amanda Nunes, she could do it, but even she didn't really do it to this extent, right? She didn't do it to this extent where it was like she was hitting her clean like Grasso was, right? So again, respect to Grasso, for taking the time to actually figure her out and study those tapes and say, okay, this is what we got to do, on the feet and on the ground. Because I think, yeah, Grasso, she wasn't dominant. She was always there, though. The same way Blanchfield was there with Andrade. You got to bully the bully. Bully the bully. I think that's one piece of MMA math that, when you're dealing with a certain type of fighter, it always adds up. They're not used to that. And when Grasso stood her ground and even was out measuring Valentina and out striking her at times, of course, Valentina did get in her shots, but there was still some nice little exchanges that nobody else has ever done. That gets under Valentina's skin. That gets under her skin big time. Whenever you can do something that she feels like can't be done to her, it takes her out of her element. When you start hitting her, it takes her out of her element. And that's what, fighting, look, fighting is, fighting is about, you understand you're going to get hit. I mean, Valentina, she comes in with more of a hit, not get hit approach, but it's still the fight game. So you got to remember, hey, every now and then somebody might tag you, so you can't get frustrated. And I think, as good as Valentina is, she get a little frustrated. Sometimes she'll get a little frustrated. And I think the team got frustrated. You saw after that first round, man, like, I don't think they handled that cut well either, man. They let the blood drip. And I'm not saying that the blood messed her, vision up, or, it was in her way or like anything like that, or like a big distraction. But it was a sign for her opponent. When Grasso saw the blood, she's probably like, oh, yeah, I got her now. That's what a lot of people don't understand. Like, that's the reason you got to clean that blood up, man. Because, like, when your opponent sees it and they drew that blood, they're going to be like, okay, what I'm doing is working, so I have to just continue to do it. I got to stay committed to it, okay? So that right there was a sign of frustration on their side. And I know people are going to try to say, oh, you reading into it. No, man, it's those little things like that. Like, you see somebody bleeding like that, you see the blood. It's just like when fighters say, hey, we smell blood. We see the blood, we're going to go after it. We know that we penetrated her guard now, and what we're doing is working. So what did Grasso do? Slide back in and out. You know, nice little footwork, nice little switching of the stances, controlling that distance, make Valentina think twice. And that's what you got to do. That's what she did. It was a nice game plan. Of course, Valentina was still game, right? She was still game in this fight. Like I said, for her keys to victory, if she happens to start getting outstruck, she still has her strength to go to. But wow, man, like, that's about all she had on the ground was, you know, getting the takedowns and just keeping Grasso down. But other than that, like, the control of Grasso from the bottom and the activity was pretty impressive. You know, she was always squirming, she was always moving, and she had some nice moments to scramble and use her knee to get separation to get back to her feet. I was impressed with that. You know, Alexa Grasso really had a nice game plan even off the bat. So even that could have been the go-to for Valentina, you know, keeping the fight to the ground because she's strong. But no, Grasso had that ground covered as well. You know, she had that ground covered as well. So even on the ground, Valentina showed some frustration there. You know, I don't know if many people caught that, but even like, you know, kind of holding on to the neck a little bit longer after the end of the first round, when there was the separation, when she was on top because there wasn't much activity, you know, trying to sneak in that shot. You know, the little slaps to the face when she's in Grasso's closed guard, you know, she starts popping her in the face a little bit. I'm like, oh, okay. And you know, those are little things that you can do. You know, those little things you can do. But it just kind of showed you that Valentina had to start resorting to some of that rugged stuff because of the technique of Grasso. And like I said, going into this fight, every time you heard me talk about this leading up to it, ask me about the technique of Grasso, I said, yeah, she's been in the UFC for 6 years. I think that technically there should be no issues, but it was just about her going after the fight. Like, I ain't say anything bad about her technique. Like, her technique was definitely something that was going to help her in this fight. It was just the fact that I didn't really ever see her go after some of these fighters and have that kill switch, you know. So that's that variable we can't really account for all the time. And, you know, she came in and rose to the occasion and really, really, really took it there. You know, took it where nobody else ever tried to take it against Valentina before, you know, so respect to her. But yeah, there was a lot of moments in that first round where Valentina just had it. You could read it on her face that she knew she was in for a fight. That's the first round. You know, the first round, you could see Grasso pinging her with a couple of good shots from the southpaw stance, and Valentina kind of had a different mindset. Like, dang, okay, this girl's actually going to try to strike with me, and her striking is effective, you know? So standing your ground in the fight is important. And, you know, I was wrong for saying, okay, Grasso might not have the boxing ability to hang, but she took it upon herself to improve, not just going in and saying, okay, I'm the faster fighter, because being fast is nothing. You know, Holly Holm was fast. You know, if you have the same in and out attack, Valentina will figure that out. But it was Grasso's approach to say, okay, what can I do with my speed? It ain't about being fast. It's about what am I going to do with this speed? Okay, what do I do with this speed? Okay, we're going to treat Valentina like a southpaw. All right, we're going to step away from her left hand, and in the minute we out of the way of the left hand, we're going to come in at an angle, but we're going to slide in and out. You know, I was looking at all this afternoon, man, like how she'll like slide in with her feet, but her upper body would be ready to pull back in case Valentina threw one of those windmill kicks or, you know, roundhouse kicks like she was doing a couple of times in the first round. And right there, you know, Valentina kind of underestimated Grasso in the first round because she thought she was going to shoot straight in, and she was like, you know what? I'm looking for a highlight knockout. She was like, the minute Grasso step in, I'm a roundhouse kick her in the head and knock her out. But Grasso was never there. Grasso switched southpaw, started cracking her. So it took her in a different mind state. And it wasn't like, okay, Grasso was just beating her up this whole fight. It was like it was systematically. You know what I mean? It was like invading her space and attacking a little bit of everything Valentina had till eventually, the empire just kind of crumbles, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like she just kept hitting Valentina with the same thing over and over. No, it was like she was attacking every aspect. Every aspect. She was hitting her fortress all over the place. You know, she hit these cannons. She hit the archers. She destroyed the catapult. She was hitting every little piece of her battlefield till eventually Valentina got a little reckless and tried to shoot that last cannon, and boom, Grasso caught her from behind. So it's just one of them things, man. That's what I'm saying. It was like a systematic type of beating. It wasn't like this dominant thing where she just overpowered her with one thing, or it wasn't even like a fluke beating. Nobody can call this fight a fluke. Nobody can call it a fluke, man. She just figured her out. So that's what I'm saying, man. It's all about studying your opponent. People think, oh, you can watch them all day, but you can't beat them if you ain't got the style. Well, eventually, if you watch somebody all day, you're going to have to build up in those areas that need to be built up to beat this person, okay? Like, if you want to be champion one day, if you don't have this dimension, if you don't have this ground game, well, it's about time you start hitting the mat, you start working. And that's what Grasso did, right? That's what Alexa Grasso started working on. Got better on the ground game, got better with her defensive grappling, got better off of her back. So we just can't go in and say, okay, because a person doesn't have it, that they'll never have it. No, it's on them to go get it, right? It's on them to go get it and say, okay, I got to perfect this thing about me that I never had before. Let's get it, and then we're going to start working from here. Okay, hold on one second, y'all. Hang on one second here. All right, y'all, I'm back. Hold on here. All right. Let's talk. Let's talk about it. I am back. I've been rambling for about 16 minutes or so while I was driving. All right. So, anyways, man, yeah. So that's what I saw in Alexa Grasso's performance. Like, and when you beat fighters like this, it's not always going to be this dominant performance because I see some people thinking, okay, she went in there and she wasn't able to do this, she wasn't able to do that, or I see people say, okay, Valentina. I already hear some people making excuses for Valentina, but I'm like, you know what? No, it's like this. The approach Grasso took was somebody who studied Valentina Shevchenko. And when you're dealing with a fighter like Valentina, you're not necessarily going to go in there and just dominate like that if it's something you never done before, right? Especially like number one, like I said, Grasso doesn't really have like a physical style, right? That's something I said in the beginning. Like she's not like this huge fighter. She's not like a huge flyweight. She's definitely grown into it now. She was looking bigger than Valentina in there. The shoulders were wider. She was in shape. She's the same height, but she definitely filled out and looks like a flyweight now, right? But that's never really been her style, like to just fight like a Juliana Pena or Tyler Santos. So looking at that, I said, okay, she's gonna have to just go back and study and see what she can capitalize on. So they worked on their ground game, they worked on their clinch control. Shout out to Slide of Mine. He got the inside track, and he's been saying he's seeing it. He's been seeing the improvements there, right? All right. So another thing is already having the stand up was beneficial. So having that, they're gonna have to make it work. And see, for fans, they automatically think because it's Valentina, this person has no chance, right? But even if you think Grasso's stand up is a few levels below Valentina, she's gonna have to use it. She's gonna have to use her stand up, and she can come up with a stand up game plan, right? She'll have to come up with a stand up game plan because that is her go to. So it's on Grasso to come up with a specific style and a couple of different changes and adjustments that's going to frustrate the champion. Just like Amanda Nunes did. I mean, she did like a 180 with her style when she fought Juliana Pena the second time, right? She was getting out jabbed the first fight. She got clocked a few times, and she said, okay, well, in order to get my stand-up going this time, I'm going to have to make some adjustments to it against Juliana Pena, right? So she goes the left-handed style the whole fight. So Alexa Grasso, she doesn't go left-handed the whole time, but those were her most effective moments. So, she makes those adjustments, say, okay, well, I'm a stand-up boxer. Well, I'm going to make it work. I'm not just going to dart in and out because, she's not Macy Barber. She's not Karolina Kowalkiewicz. I'm going to take different angles to this and make it work to my benefit. And yeah, like I know some people have said that Valentina has been predictable at times. You never heard me argue that. Like that's the one thing I've never argued. She's just been really, really good with her basic 1-2. And Grasso, she will throw a few more different type of punches. She will throw a few more type of punches, in her arsenal. That's why I kept saying, I think her hooks will be effective. Even her uppercut would be effective against Valentina because, she steps in with her basic 1-2 because she never has to go beyond that because a lot of people show her respect. She never really has to go beyond that. She just shows those two different levels. But if Grasso comes with more of an arsenal to her and picks her shots, it could be a long night for her. And it was, man, So it was a good fight. It was just a good fight. And nobody can make an excuse for that, because there was nothing that there was a lot Valentina offered that could have won her the fight. Do I think that Valentina could have won the fight or was on the way? Yeah, I do. I think that if she didn't throw that spinning back fist, the fight could have went on a little bit longer, and it probably would have drawn out being more competitive, but it would have been a little bit more like, okay, the fifth round, let's see who can go at it, right? Because, let me see, up to round, I got to watch this thing again, man. It was a good fight. I had a 2-1 for Valentina to round 3. Then round 4, her jab started looking good. Valentina's did. She started landing her jab, but she was kind of in like a survival mode where she didn't really have anything outside of those takedowns, right? She didn't really have any ability to set up anything like that could just kind of throw Grasso off her game at that point. Grasso was still coming forward. Valentina was loading up too much which is crazy to say, right? People, I don't know if they noticed that, like, Valentina was loading up. She continued to keep loading up. She kept looking for big shots to get Grasso's respect, but it shouldn't have been that. It should have been her trying to counterpunch more and just get her back off of her, because Grasso kept coming. That was the crazy part. Grasso was in her face, yet she wasn't in her face. She was right there, but she couldn't hit her. So outside of the jab, she kept cracking her with that jab, but everything else, Grasso would go back on completely out of range, or she would try to run in and clinch Valentina. So I think she made big mistakes trying to throw too many roundhouse and too many spinning back fists in this fight. So in a way, she did kind of underestimate her, and that is no excuse. No, that's no excuse. A champion shouldn't underestimate anybody, because this like we've been talking about, this next crop of flyweights coming in, they're not these fighters from 2018 and 2019. They're getting better, and they're watching what she's doing. I know Grasso and their team have been watching that Tyler Santos fight too. They said this is where Santos failed. So this is where we're gonna pick it up. This is where we're gonna pick it up. We're gonna believe in our stand up, and that's what I was saying about Tyler Santos, y'all. Look, Tyler Santos needed to believe in her stand up. A lot of people said, okay, her stand up ain't gonna work, but no, like, you got to use stand up. You got to use a stand up. We know she got a great ground game, but you got to use a stand up, man. That's the only way you're going to really get respect. When you put a fist in Valentina's face and show her that you're not going anywhere and that you're not going to back down, how do you think you can get a fighter's respect? I mean, you can hold her on the ground, you can go for the submission, but if Valentina's still like game and she's not hurt, I tell you, there's nothing like being hit in the face. That'll really wake you up. I don't care what the sport is, getting hit in the face puts you in a different place. Everybody always repeats the Mike Tyson quote. What is it? Everybody has a game plan before you get punched in the face, or everybody has a game plan until you get punched in the face, right? So there's nothing like getting punched in the face or get kicked in the face to really wake a person up, or just put them in a different zone. So Grasso did that, hitting the square in the face. That was different. Let me just say that was different. Like, you never seen Valentina look like that. Like, even in the Santos fight, Santos made Valentina. She made Valentina like fight off of ego, but she still knew she had some other things to go on because Santos wasn't striking with her, right? Like, she was getting taken down against Santos, but she was never looking like this. You know why? Because, like, she wasn't getting hit square in the face that many times. But whenever Grasso hit her with that straight left hand and that right hook a couple of times in the first round, you see that facial expression change, didn't you? Right? So I know it's all about ground game too, but hey, you got to have a little bit of everything, because getting hit in the face puts you in a different realm. you know, I enjoyed the fight though. All right, make sure y'all hit the like button. You got like 30 people in here. I think my StreamYard is a little behind, so it only looks like 17 of y'all. But if I look on YouTube, I'm missing a lot of the chat. Yeah, it's weird right here. This is weird. It's behind. Let me pull up YouTube, man. I can see what y'all are saying. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah, I'm missing some comments here. I don't know. Like, it's not showing comments on StreamYard right now. I don't know why. Hold on. Okay, I see Nabash. Okay, Nabash said, very good game plan by Grasso. I heard she planned on finishing Valentina in this exact way. I'm sure she did. I'm sure they did. I'm sure they worked on that, because the way she attacked it and the way she saw it coming, it was a good execution on them. That was a great execution on their team. And when you're dealing with somebody like this for this long, it's like I said, you got to study that opponent, man. You got to study that opponent. You got to figure everything out about them. You got to get their weaknesses down. You got to get their strengths down. And wherever they're strong at, you got to get just as strong or have a clever game plan to avoid that. But yeah, that's wild though, man. Like I told y'all too, man. Like even my keys to victory, I said you gotta have to frustrate Valentina a little bit because when you do that, you're gonna see her step out of her game plan. Like she's a very, very disciplined fighter, but Valentina does get frustrated. Like you just never really see it because everybody respects her when they fight her. You know what I mean? Like I've seen those moments where she will do certain things in there that you'll be like, oh wow, uh-oh, like I see a sign of a little, I see a little sign of being kind of taken out of her game plan. And like it was just like the subtle things that Jennifer Maya was doing. Like Jennifer Maya was just like standing her ground. Jennifer Maya just stood her ground in that fight. And it kind of frustrated Valentina. Like Valentina was kind of like, what is she still doing here? You know what I mean? Like Valentina was like, what is she still doing here? Like she kind of went after her. And that's where Jennifer Maya uh had to capitalize, but she didn't. If she would have went after her, probably could have, gotten Valentina the same way. Because there were times where she was kind of, throwing a lot of crazy power shots and trying to get her out of there. And that kind of frustrated Valentina that Jennifer Maya was still there. But Grasso being here and hitting her, Grasso actually connecting on Valentina and still being in the fight by the fourth round really took Valentina out of her game plan. And, if you're listening to me talk about this fight and talk about how Valentina performed, it was a good competitive fight. Valentina was here 100%. Her skill sets were here. You don't hear me making any excuses. And you don't hear me saying that she was like exposed or overrated, like, because she's not that. Grasso's getting full credit for beating a great champion. I'm not downplaying anything about Valentina. Like, what I've seen in the past are her weaknesses. Like, some people say, oh, she don't have weaknesses. Okay, well, let's look at let's look at where, if you don't want to call them weaknesses, let's look where Grasso can capitalize then. If y'all don't want to say that, right? That's how I always have to talk to people about it. Like when they talk about Valentina, they get mad when I say she might have a weakness or two. So I say, okay, let's talk about where Grasso can actually capitalize. And I gave you some keys to victory on what she can do. And some of them aren't going to be physical. Some of them are going to be uh, some of them are going to be more mental because that's what I've seen in Valentina. But I'll talk about it now. So I'm saying I'll talk about it now. Just say this is what I seen. I seen her get frustrated. I seen her throw a basic 1-2 sometimes and just get caught in that. Like I see a lack of variety because she's just so used to fight behind just two punches. Maybe the right hook, but every now and then it's just those basic shots that she's throwing. That's it. Um, I definitely got to say Grasso throws more, but I just didn't know that she would be able to land more because I thought she would have just fell back into that mode like other fighters and show respect. But no, she mixed her attack up, and that's where she was able to show that weakness in Valentina. Now you can admit it; it is a weakness, right? But I enjoyed the fight. Again, let me put that out there. I enjoyed it. Again, Valentina was Valentina. There was nothing about her. There was nothing about I saw Valentina as far as different to say, oh, she looks hurt or oh, she looks sick. I don't want to hear that from anybody in this fight. She looked the part. She was just taken out of her game plan by Alexa Grasso, who did her homework. All right. She did her homework. Chen said, can Alexa say she's the best flyweight in the world now? The best flyweight in the world. She can say that. I mean, there's got to be work that's put in to be like the best pound. You know, there has to be work to put in to say like you're this legend. But you know, what do they say? To beat the best, you got to be the best. You got to beat the best, right? So everybody can put that out there now and just say, "Oh, I got the belt, so I am the best." Because you're on the mountaintop, right? You knocked her off the mountaintop, so you have the ability to say, "I'm the best," but the road is just starting. You know what I mean, Chin? Like you can say it, but the work has to be put in, right? The title defenses have to be put in. Like Whaley got her belt back. Okay, she's the number one. She's the champion. We can call her the best, but we know what work she has to put in, right? We know what type of work she still has to put in, right? Yeah, in this moment, of course. Yeah, if you mean in this moment, yeah, she can say she's the best. She was the best fighter that night. It's just like when the loser loses, they go, "This fighter was better than me tonight," right? So if they were better than me and I'm considered the best, this fighter is the best. So yeah, she's the best. She's the best flyweight right now. You know, in this moment, she's the best flyweight. She bested the champion, so she can say that now. I'll say that I picked Valentina to win, but I ain't gonna make no excuses and try to say, "Oh, Alexa Grasso, she still got a lot to do." No, she's the best fighter right now. She's the best flyweight right now because it wasn't no fluke either. She beat Valentina with a great game plan. It was a competitive fight, right? Valentina was still in the fight, could have won the fight. We never know, like if it would went a little bit longer. Valentina was ahead after round 3. Alexa wasn't necessarily dominant, but she pulled out some weaknesses that a lot of people didn't want to see before, and she capitalized. But yeah, she proved to be the best flyweight. She was the best flyweight last night. She did something 7 other girls couldn't do. Lafayette said, "I don't see a dominant champion. I wouldn't be surprised if that belt gets passed around." And I agree with you there too, Lafayette. What's going on, Lafayette? Yeah, definitely, man. I agree with you on that. Like, I'm hoping, like, I'm hoping. Let's see. I ain't gonna be on here much longer because I got to get to work here. But uh, I'm hoping this wasn't no Buster Douglas case. Okay, I'm hoping this wasn't no Buster Douglas case here. Like I'm not gonna say Chris Weidman because the Chris Weidman knockout, Anderson Silva put the chin out there, got knocked out. That was kind of like a give me thing. But I got to go to boxing with Buster Douglas where he, I got to go with Buster Douglas because that was a good competitive fight with Mike Tyson. He got dropped. He got back up. He was connected on Mike. He wasn't going anywhere, and he was exposing a lot in Mike in that fight till he finally knocked him out, right? And he was perfect for that one night. So I'm hoping Lafayette that Grasso was just not perfect for one night. You know what I mean? I'm hoping that those skills can go into other fights, but I still don't see her. I don't know if she can beat Tyler and Manone though. I'm gonna go back and forth with people on that. Those are the fighters I don't know. Now, if I'm looking at her and Aaron now, and just her ability to measure distance and range and be quick and use angles, the Aaron fight, I could see her winning. I could see Grasso winning against Aaron more so. On the ground, I don't know, but I think Alexa's takedown defense and her striking off of what we've seen in this fight can keep her standing and keep her on her feet, winning a comfortable decision, possibly against Aaron. I can say that, but those other two contenders, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just hoping that this ain't the situation where, yeah, like she just perfected her self for one night. I'm hoping they can carry in because I want to see good fighters. I want to see good fighters. I want to see good fighters in the flyweight division, and I think we're getting that right now. Robot Chicken said, I think Grasso can defend a few times. She just finished Val. Well, we'll see. We'll see. We can't base it off of just this one win, though, man. Like, I mean, what happened with Wei Li? She defended one time, right, Robot? So, still a different story. I've seen this story many times, man. I've been watching combat sports many times, Robot. I'm just saying, like, getting the belt is one thing, but defending is another. All right? That's two different things, man. Getting the belt is one thing, but defending the belt is another. So, what we saw tonight, we can't really necessarily say a person defends a belt even a few times. We got to see. This is the world of MMA. I learned that. That doesn't mean a person gonna be a dominant champion off one win. Since Joanna got defeated, nobody's defended that belt like what more than once. Nobody's won that belt more than once, right? Defended that belt more than once. Let's see. Rose, how many times? Yeah, Rose defended the belt once. Wei Li defended the belt once, right? Rose defended the belt once when she got it back. Carla didn't even defend the belt. Yeah. So, yeah. She said Wei Li was number 6 when she blasted Andrade, underdog. 6 said Wei Li's the best MMA champion right now. He said, just my opinion. She's a very good fighter. She's a very good champion. Very good champion. And the boss says, so crazy that Alexa Grasso, of all people, was the one to not only beat but finish Valentina. She has such a low finishing rate throughout her career. Exactly, man. That's what I'm saying, the boss. It's like that made it hard to pick her, man, because like that kind of channeled her energy for me, the boss. It's like, the way she doesn't finish fighters is kind of like she holds back. Like she didn't even finish Carla Esparza. She didn't even finish Carla Esparza. She didn't finish Karolina Kowalkiewicz. She couldn't finish Macy Barber. She stunned her, I thought, a couple times, right? So dang, man. Valentina's on that list with JoJo, man. Dang, man, she rear naked choked JoJo and Valentina. Wow, that's crazy. Valentina can join that my girl JoJo club now. They've both been submitted by Grasso by rear naked choke. Oh man, water went down the wrong pipe. Damn, man, yo, Valentina done got choked out by Grasso by Joe, the same way JoJo did, man. Valentina, boy, I didn't see that coming. Oh boy, whoo! Tell you that fight put us all on a hangover. Sink, what's up, man? Sink, are you still coming down off that high, man? Like I woke up a little hungover off that night, man. Let me turn that. Hold on. There we go. Woo! Wild night. Yeah, I'm still buzzing over here, man. I'm still buzzing a little bit. That was strong stuff. That was a strong mix right there. That was a strong mixed drink right there, man. That jump put me out. You just don't know. Like after that fight, I sat up for a little while, drank some tea. Then all of a sudden my eyes were closed and I was gone. I was gonna watch the fight again last night, but I was, like after I got off stream, it was like, no, I got off stream like 3 in the morning, right? I got off the stream at like after 3 in the morning and had some tea and I was gone. Saying I was done. Man, we ain't even talked about the other fights. Man, we're gonna talk about the other fights tomorrow then, man. Like we ain't even talked about Ebos. That's just too much, man. Because Ebos blew my mind too. And then Grasso blew my mind. Not only that, that Valentina, I'm disappointed because she made me go 1-0-3 last night. I was supposed to be 1-2 last night because of Valentina, but now I'm 0-3. I'm pissed off now. Look at that, man. I'm 0-3 from last night, all because of Valentina. That wasn't supposed to happen. That was not supposed to happen. That's ridiculous. My mind is blown, man. Like Ebos, my mind was already like, oh wow, like okay, that's nice. I can see that. But then when Valentina did it, I was like, my head exploded, man. There was no need to bash my head on glass chin because my head blew up. My head blew up and I was like, oh wow, the division's just changed. The division has just changed. Chen said, why would y'all pick Panay over Ricci? Well, it's Ricci. I mean, you act like that's a guaranteed win. That ain't no guaranteed win. I mean, come on, that's Ricci. I mean, like, really though, what has Ricci done to prove that she was going to run through Panay? You know, who should Tabitha Ricci fight next? Let's see, Tabitha Ricci, has she fought? No, Cheyenne Velismus or Corey McKenna. Those are good fights. Well, no, Chen will no not to Ricci either, but I mean, she hasn't came in and proved to be UFC level either. So you know what I mean? It's just like it's like a level to it. You know what I mean? You got to prove yourself. So I just can't just go on a limb and say, "Oh, Ricci got it like that too." Like I like what I seen from her LFA. Like I said yesterday in my video or Friday or whatever, I said I like her. I think she could be better, but UFC signing is a little premature. But she passed this test. She did. She passed this test. But yeah, hey, I'm all for it. Like I said, man, I'm all for it. I like the fact that Grasso was able to execute a good game plan, and like I said, it's like a good movie to me, man. I like a good movie. I like a movie that's not predictable, and that's why I'm talking about. That's why I'm be talking about this for a while because I'm a film fan, and I love good movies that just like can shock me. And last night, shocked me. It shocked me. So this is a fight that's going to go up there on the shelf, like with some of my favorite movies. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be a classic now that I revisit because it was that type of performance where I say I didn't expect that in the script. I mean, I like a good movie. I like a movie sometimes that is basic. I like a good lineal movie. Where everything is just pretty straightforward sometimes. But this was like a good movie where it was like a little bit of everything was going on, and I was on the edge of my seat. And then the ending wasn't what I expected, but it still paid off. It still paid off. Six said I'm on a film set right now. He said Disney movie to be exact. Oh, cool. I haven't done any film work in a while, Six, man. Like I haven't done any, I used to, yeah, like over the past few years, like I've been well, because of COVID, I kind of took a break from it, but I haven't done any freelance like camera assistant work and first AC work in a while, man. But that's yeah, okay, that's cool. He said Disney movie to be exact. Yeah, I haven't done any like stuff. I haven't done any work in a while. So, Gabby, what's up? Gabby said, "Who should Aaron fight next? She still wants to fight on International Fight Week. Do you think the UFC will ask him to know to come back early? Uh, plus Santos has visa issues. Possibly. Manon has responded. She's given her take on the fight. About Grasso winning, and I guess she will come back soon. She might come back in July or August. That would still be a good fight. Hold on, this stream is weird, man. Every time I look at StreamYard, I'm behind. StreamYard's a little behind. It's weird. Damn. Okay. Zama said, she's a quality. Grasso's a quality MMA fighter. No real weaknesses. Let me see. No real weaknesses. I think everybody has weaknesses. She just doesn't have those weaknesses that got a few technical weaknesses. Yeah, got a few technical weaknesses, but nothing that can't be tweaked. You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna say like she's the greatest now. Don't go out there because there's still some fighters that would win. How to die alone. Okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna go all out and say she don't have any weakness just because she won this fight because she still got some losses, right? And those losses came to weaknesses. I mean, this is a whole other debate that I don't even want to get into right now. But don't go there. Don't go there and try to act like she ain't got no weaknesses now. Everybody got weaknesses. Like y'all looking for your next superwoman, but look, everybody's in here. Everybody in here is human. BJ, you heard me say this before you too about Valentina. Like Valentina is a human. She can be beat. I'm giving her credit for her discipline and her work. I'm not making up stuff saying, "Oh, she's the queen and she's like bulletproof." Right? You never hear me say that about her. I'm giving credit for the I'm not giving credit for made up stuff, where people just say this is Superwoman. She can't be beat. I'm giving credit for the discipline and the defense and all of that, but I'm not making up stuff like, oh, because this person won. There's no weaknesses. There's no weaknesses in this person. Come on now. Grasso got weaknesses. You got to go back and watch some other fights. And you got to remember, look, this is a whole different stream because I'm going to take it here too because I like to look at every angle. This is just one fight now. Do you think she's going to come and perform on every single performance after this? Because this is a high moment, right? Where people rise to the occasion. Like I said, we don't know. This could be a Buster Douglas moment now. That's still out there yet to be seen. In this moment, she's the best flyweight. Like I was telling Chen asked, in this moment, she's the best flyweight right now. But down the road, we're gonna have to see something. We're gonna have to see, can she rise to the occasion and do this consistently? Because now that she's champion, we expecting her to fight at least 2 to 3 times a year. And you got to keep up that same energy. Now she did it. She did it for this one fight. But we got to see if she can do this over and over for the next top threat, because each top threat now, you can't you can't study the same way you did like with Valentina, right? You have to have it on the go every training camp for every single style. You're gonna have to have it for the Santos, Manon, Blanchfield, Ebas, Casey O'Neill. You know what I mean? Each girl gonna come with something different. So you got to be that well-rounded to keep it going just like that. So, and you got to be, it can't be a lot of just, it can't be a lot of pent up energy, just for, for one big fight. And then you just wither out for the next 2-3 fights, and then boom, you lose it. You know what I mean? Six said, who still wants Shevchenko Santos? I'll take the fight still. I'll take that fight for sure. I'll still take that fight. Santos probably gonna be like, your striking ain't nothing. She probably gonna run through her and just she gonna be trying to like bull rush her now. But she better not get caught. And that's the thing, Santos, if she would have believed in her striking the first time, man, she would have been good, man. She would have been so good. She would have been so good if she would have just let off more shots and believed in her stand-up. All right, y'all, hit that like button. I'm about to get up out of here, though. Yeah, I like Grasso too, Lafayette. I just don't see dominant champion. Gabby said, if Val loses the rematch, do you think she goes up to 135 and fights Nunes and wins or loses or retire? No, I don't even think she'll do that fight anymore. I don't think she'll do that fight. Whoa, BJ, let's not go too crazy now. Because let's not go too crazy. Yeah, Gabby. I don't think she moves up to 135 because there'd be no purpose anymore. Because if Nunes saw that, Nunes would be like, I'm about to smash this girl's head in. She Nunes gonna be like, man, she'll be like, that striking ain't got nothing on me now. I'm gonna go full time southpaw. I'm gonna smash that head in. I'm just saying that be her mindset now. Nunes might come in at 160 that night. Be like, you know what? Forget the weight. I'm gonna destroy her for trying to come up here and fight me. I'm just playing. Yeah, O'Neal ain't smoking no Valentina yet, because you better study that fight Grasso did. What did Grasso have? I know y'all about the ground game, but what did Grasso do to win the fight? She was using that boxing, right? She was using that stand up. Like I said, she proved me wrong on that stand up. So she definitely better open your eyes, man, because that stand up Grasso had, Casey O'Neill ain't got that type of stand up. Yeah, Casey can push and do all of this, and she's good on the ground, but you saw that stand up game. That was step one. And Casey O'Neill ain't got that type of stand up like Grasso. So I don't see her taking a part in that fashion, or just off of pure running in and trying to grapple. All right, y'all, but hit that like button. I'm getting up out of here. Make sure y'all subscribe. Peace.